Hello everyone, hope everyone is having a great day. This is going to be another bias update video for gold as well as the US dollar, where I will be going over what I perceive the market to currently be doing and what I'm speculating to see the market do in the future. Keep in mind that nobody is able to accurately predict how any market will move 100% of the time, and I am no exception. And always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results. So to get started, this is the weekly chart for gold. For my previous bias update video, I outlined the relative equal highs at 2075.11 as a level that I would expect to see the price of gold move towards. And on the daily chart for gold, I also outlined levels where I was expecting the retracement on gold to move towards before we broke those relative equal highs. And so now, currently this is the weekly chart for gold, where we have hit the objective of 2075.11, taking out the liquidity left of those relative equal highs, and putting in a new historical high for gold. After taking the liquidity out the market, I would be expecting lower prices on gold, and we'll be looking for the shift in market structure for confirmation of the down move. Now, moving down to the daily chart, I would like to see gold take out a low before switching my long-term bias to bearish. This is the structure I've outlined for gold on the daily chart, and when we go below this low, I would expect us to continue to break lows long term. And now, moving down to the hourly chart, we took out the relative equal highs that were previously outlined and continue to run towards the higher time frame relative equal highs at 2075.11, putting in a new all-time high of 2078.24. We can also see on the hourly chart that we have broken structure to the downside, but even though I'm expecting lower prices after such a large down move, a retracement is to be expected as well. So if I use this price leg as my dealing range, expecting lower prices, I get optimal trade entry at roughly 2043. As mentioned before, the 50% level is something to note as well. So around 2029 is another retracement objective that I would be looking at. And for further confirmation, right at optimal trade entry, we have a fair value gap that has yet to be filled or tapped into. And that will conclude my long-term and short-term bias for gold. And now moving to the DXY, I'm going to start on the 1 hour chart. For my long-term bias, my previous DXY analysis can be referenced, as not much has changed in the past week for DXY. Here's the hourly chart. We can see that during the week, we took out the relative equal highs where liquidity was accumulating. And after grabbing liquidity, we ran lower to create relative equal lows. And since I see relative equal lows as a level where I would expect price to return to, we might move a bit lower before we get that move up on DXY. Also, something else I'd like to note, we have a gap in price that did not get filled. So that's also an objective that I'm looking at. Maybe we run up there before we run for that liquidity. Just another price objective I'm looking at for the DXY. And that will conclude my bias for the US dollar index. Of course, different events and news can sway price heavily, so the price levels I've outlined may be invalidated, and if structure shifts on the higher time frames, my bias would switch as well. I will be doing updates on the lower time frames coming forward to keep everyone tuned in and up to date with my bias. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment below and I'll answer it as soon as possible. And if you'd like to show support, you can leave a like on the video and subscribe.